Hello everybody, Storm here, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Online. In the last episode, we were able to track down the Spriggan that had the crystal that we needed, and we finally got our corrupted crystal that had the correct elemental aspect for what we needed. We also did a few side quests as well, but we got to a point where we are underleveled again for the next main story quest, so we have to get to level 44 before we can do the next main story. So, we need to find a way to get some EXP, and probably the easiest way to get a giant pile of EXP is to run a dungeon. And there actually is a dungeon that we can do that we haven't done yet, and that is the dungeon of Cutter's Cry. It's an optional dungeon, it's not part of the main story, so we will have to go ahead and run a quest to unlock it and then run through the dungeon. So that is why we are over here in Ul'dah, and Sibold here in the background has the quest we need. Let's go ahead and talk to him. Sibold has but little time left and would confide to you his burdens. Time heals all wounds, or so say those who have never experienced true pain. More than 30 summers have passed since I carried the standard of the Dark Light Raiders into Cutter's Cry, but not a day goes by that I don't see the faces of the friends I lost that fateful day. Gerbald the Red and his loyal second, Albraced Stillwater, Simon the Sweet, always armed with a jab and jest, our ever ireful Maze, Shiran Zabran, as quick to cast as he was to temper, Thormoan Thousandgill. Never has there lived a man with a tighter grip, be it on his sword or his coin. And let us not forget one Ilm Ailson. Though it's hard to fathom now, what with all the adventurers scampering around like rabbits in the spring, there was once a time when bands of mercenaries were who the city-states turned to when in need of a blade. The Dark Light Raiders were being the biggest and best of them bands. Ishgardian funded forays into hellish pits like the Arum Vale would earn us a king's ransom in a matter of days, though it would only take a night of devil's play at the Mirage to see it gone from our purses. So was the life of a raider. That is, until we took a job at Cutter's Cry. My brothers and I had stood against herds of giant buffaloes on Orgrimmar's Snurble infestations on the Pearl, legions of cold-blooded Sahagin from the abyssal depths of the Indigo Deep, but none of that prepared us for the horrors we would face in Hell's brood holes. None of it prepared us for the Chimera. The bards still sing of the day 7 of the realm's finest warriors set off into the bowels of that forsaken place, but only saw one return, Sibold the Stoic, spared by the beast, so that he may warn all others who would be foolish enough to attempt to despoil the Chimera's lair. My apologies. You did not come here to hear the guilt-ridden ramblings of an old man. But, if you have a moment, I was wondering if I could ask of you a favor. The final wish of an ailing soul seeking peace with his past before departing on his journey through the 7 gates. In each of the 30 summers since escaping from the maws of that terrible beast, I have returned to its lair to pay the proper respects to my fallen compatriots. However, the years have finally caught up with old Sibold, and try as I might, no longer can these bones make the trek alone. If it's not too much to ask, would you travel to Cutter's Cry in my stead and place this bouquet of flowers upon the resting place of the Dark Light Raiders? Alright. We can do that. Place the lilies on the burial mound at Cutter's Cry, which is way up here. Go ahead and teleport out to Blackbrush Station, and then we will ride from there. Alright. So it shouldn't be too far. Hell's Brood Holes. Okay. Here's our destination. Alright. Oh. Norman here has the conclusion of the quest. This is Cutter's Cry, a labyrinth of sand-ridden caverns. Can you hear that? That sound like the woofing snort when a fire catches? That's the Chimera. Not that I've seen it. Sure, go right on in, if you're that certain of your ability to make it out in one piece. Just don't expect me to go trotting in there, after you, no matter how hard you wail and holler. Oh, you promised old Sebald the Stoic, did you? He's what called a man of principle, he is. A little too much principle, I'd say. What's wrong with wanting to live when you've a wife at home, big with child? The tale goes that rather than facing the fate spun for him by Nemea, he hid beneath the mangled body of his leader and watched as the companions were torn apart, one by one, all so that he might return home to see his son born. Should he have died a hero rather than lived a coward? Was being able to see his son worth having the boy grow knowing his father was a craven? A disgrace to his friends and family? Should I ever find myself faced with a similar decision, would I have the courage to walk the righteous path? Now, you know the true reason I will never step into that cave. And we can go ahead and step into the cave with a group of other players. So, let's just go ahead and hit the duty finder. Hit Cutter's Cry. And join up. And wait for some people. Alright, so as usual, I'll pause recording and I'll be back as soon as we're ready. Alright. We are ready to go. So long as everybody else ready's up. There we go. I'm not sure I've ever actually tanked this dungeon. Alright. Let's get to work. Grab that sand bat. I guess we need the other sand bat. Never done sentry. I think you have to kill enough of these things get the path to open up. Okay, let's just not that familiar with tanking. I usually heal DPS in here. There we go. There's the shifting sands. Right. Alright, let's just go ahead and... work our way through here. One reason I don't really like this dungeon because it's just so hard to navigate some of the early areas. Got them all gathered up. I'm sitting in that little plume of sand there. There's the shifting sands. All right. Probably would have killed the bomb first, but that's alright. Some cooldowns. Don't want to be in there. Right, dead. Alright, first boss. Now, typical way we do this is we just burn the boss and let the healer kite the ads. Hopefully everybody else is on the same page. Defensive cooldowns. Right, here comes the ads. could just grab it. Because the fight ends as soon as the Myrmidon princess dies. Alright, yep, there we go. We don't need that. Pass on it. Make sure everybody's through. Oh, it's just the machinist who's not through. Alright, secure some thread on that guy, and then I'm going to move to bring these sand shells over. Defensive cooldowns. Alright, shifting sands has appeared. Make sure everybody gets here without incident. Okay, good. Alright, again, same thing. Over the Sabatender. Cooldowns. Get all these guys on me. Kill the healer. Alright, shifting sands dead ahead. Yeah, make sure everybody gets here. Alright, giant tunnel worm next up. Gotta wait for the other guy to get through. Alright, here we go. Hit everything here. Now, this guy's periodically going to burrow under the sand, target a player, and then proceed to them. So when it goes on the ground, you have to keep an eye on who he's going after, spread out. You don't want to get hit. Right, there he goes. He's going under the sand. There he goes. Also, at some point, when he goes under the sand, he's going to do a big whirlpool. Try and draw you into the center, and the closer you are to the center, the more damage you take. So, probably going to want to start heading toward the edge of the arena next time it goes underground. Alright, there it goes. There it is. It's gonna pop out. Almost killed the machinist because the machinist wasn't paying attention. And he just killed the healer. Somehow the machinist got himself killed. And our pugilist is going to die. And I'm going to die. All right. I don't think I've ever had that happen before. Why are we still getting the fight music going on? Really have to put the shortcut that far back? Alright, well, I guess I'll pause the recording and I'll be back once I'm back in the boss chamber. Alright, back at the boss chamber. Let's try this again. Who angry with the boss? Spread out. Watch for the attack. Don't get hit by it. Healer needs to heal themselves because they're taking a dot. Front of the enemy. And you don't want to be close to it when it pops out. So. Alright, dot. Alright. This should be the whirlpool. Everybody should get to the edge of the map. Everybody except for the... And it's going to pop out right there. Alright, it's gonna be underground, it's gonna chase somebody. Or it's gonna do that, and it's gonna pop out. The healer almost got themselves killed again. Oh, I do not like... Probably gonna happen when we get to the Chimera. Oh my goodness. Alright, finally. Alright, I don't need either of these. Pass on those. Alright. We'll just fight these guys here. Alright, a golem. Do I want to fight the golem with the little goops? Nah. Golem dropped quick enough. Are we going the right way? No, we're not. Oh, no big deal. Alright, wrong turn. Oh, and there's a golem. Hit by the golem's attack. Golem down. Alright, now we're going to want to turn north here. Alright, there's a golem. And a couple of spriggans. Alright, here is the Chimera's lair. Hopefully someone doesn't pull it while I'm in the cutscene. Alright. Let's get to work. Alright, position. I gotta pay attention to the text on the screen, because when he says his eyes glow blue, we need to get away from him. When his eyes glow purple, we need to get close to him. Notice the text, but we're close enough anyway. His eyes burn violet, alright? So stay close. Machinist obviously doesn't know what to do. His eyes are burning violet again. Stay close. Alright, he's focusing on a single target, which means he's gonna drop a purple orb. and the targeted player needs to kite the orb. But he's targeting the machinist, so the machinist most likely is just going to eat it. Alright, he's burning blue. Oh, that was a little too close. Too slow. Alright. My cooldown's up. Alright, he's focusing on a single target. It's another purple orb. Burning blue. Burning blue again. Focusing on a single target. Burning blue. Focusing on a single target. Burning blue. Now he's putting down ice fields. Burn violet, get close. Almost got him. Alright, there we go. And I leveled up. Alright, I think I give my player commendation to this monk. There we go. And an Elmo. I don't need it, I'm gonna pass. Alright, and there we are. That is Cutter's Cry. Alright, and we are now level 44, which means we can now proceed with the next main scenario quest. But we'll probably just go ahead and call it here. We will work on that when we come back. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and comment. And I will see you next time.